Growth operating is the easiest way to make 50K a month in 2024. Or at least that's what the gurus want you to believe, right? I feel like everyone and their mom is talking about growth operating as if it's the best thing since sliced bread. But I completely disagree. In fact, the model absolutely sucks, especially if you're a beginner. Because I've discovered 3 fatal loopholes that make growth operating an absolute nightmare. 1, there's 0 negative feedback about this model that you can find online, which must mean that it's hiding something. 2, everyone who's running a growth operating business is also a guru, and that's probably because they're trying to just sell their courses. And lastly, there's some bias in the world of growth operating. Everyone thinks it's the perfect model because everyone shares their successes. Barely anyone talks about their failures. So in this video, I'll break down why this model is horrible. Plus, I'm going to show you a new business model that only a handful of people are talking about that's finally making new business owners financially free. Now, if you've been sleeping under a rock and don't know what growth operating is, this is how it works. So you partner with a content creator or pretty much anyone with an audience, and you help them monetize their existing fan base. The main way that most of these growth operators monetize, or how they make any money at all, is that they help create and manage a paid community on a platform like Skool. Maybe you've been hearing about this by Alex Hormozi, who's been pushing it like crazy all over the ads. And I'll show you guys on screen. I've been getting hit up with people emailing me asking if they want to quote unquote growth operate for me. It sounds super simple, but it is going crazy right now. I swear it's literally all over my feed. And hundreds of gurus are making videos about it, saying that it's helped them hit their first 10, 20, 30K a month in less than 30 days. Now, I also don't want to be that guy who tells you that all these results are fake, because I'm sure that there's a solid handful that are in fact telling the truth, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good business model. Now let me explain. From the amount of time that I've spent digging into growth operating and doing countless hours of research, I realized that there are 3 main problems with this model. And one of the problems stems from one major factor that makes growth operating easy in the first place. And it's the value that you give your client. Sure, you can help your client manage their paid communities, their courses, etc., etc. You could even help them net more money to their business. But you're basically working as something like a glorified virtual assistant for them. And you can think about this: how much specialized knowledge do you actually need to start a growth operating business? Now, you can help them make courses, but all the content is based on the experience and knowledge of your client. And if you think about what goes into quote unquote managing a paid community, you're really just scheduling posts and events. So the necessary skills that you need to be a successful growth operator are probably comparable to something like a beginner social media manager. And because of that exact reason, as messed up as it does sound, your client can basically replace you whenever they want. And the person with the highest amount of leverage is going to be your client. Now, they own the audience, they post the content, they get the distribution that drives all the paid community sales. And the moment that your client realizes, like, hey, why don't I just use AI to write those emails for me? Your clients will not need you anymore. All they need to do is keep pumping out emails that are based on other people's templates, and they will make money from that. More often than not, you can give it 3 months maximum and your client's gonna let you go. They're gonna outsource a VA from the Philippines that they're gonna pay $5 an hour, and they don't need to pay an actual commission to. Now, what a lot of these gurus don't say, and that they don't mention, is that your own lack of value is going to be a massive problem that will continue to haunt you in a growth operating business. But getting fired is just one of the problems that you're dealing with. Everything that you do for your client is going to rely on their skills, their brand, their reputation, so on and so forth. So as a growth operator, unfortunately, there's just not a lot of things that you can control. One day your client could, wake up one morning and decide to do something stupid, maybe something controversial. Maybe you don't have control of this, but he could completely lose relevance, which would mean that you're no longer making any money. Plus, not everyone is as great at social media as they think they are, so they might not know how they should be effectively promoting the community, and sales would obviously be coming in way slower. But the main takeaway here is that your success as a growth operator has to rely on your client. So if their knowledge isn't where it needs to be, or if they're not actually good at what they teach, you'll just end up getting caught in the crossfire. Now, you can even think about this. You wouldn't call a business successful if you can't even control your own results. As sad as this does sound, you're no better than an average employee, and you don't even have the value in your work to back yourself up. Now, we can compare that to other models like e-commerce, dropshipping, or service-based businesses. All of those models, they rely on you and your own knowledge as a business owner. So as a growth operator, your results are actually never yours. You're kind of just praying that you can find a good client in a good niche and take home some profit for yourself. Which brings us to the last and the biggest problem. When you're running a business, there are only 2 ways to make more money. 1, get more customers, or 2, get your existing customers to pay you more. Now, as a growth operator, you probably think that you can just take an infinite number of clients and have them all pay you 15, 20K per month. But once you actually start growth operating, you're gonna realize very quickly that your client wants you to handle literally everything from email management to creating content for your courses and a million other tasks, which to a certain extent, that is fair because they're giving you a percentage of what they make, right? But not every client is going to be the same because depending on the client that you work with, your profits may be capped. They might actually be totally fine with $30,000 a month and they don't want to scale because time commitment or for whatever reason. So when that happens, your commission-based salary is never going to grow, right? So if you want to scale, you're going to have to drop that client and you're going to have to look for a new one. And that means that you're throwing away a steady 15, 20K per month, which is not easy for most people or honestly anyone. I don't know who wants to give up a consistent salary. Now, if we just go ahead and look from an overview here, you're basically trapped in a business model that doesn't allow you to scale. It gives you zero control and doesn't offer any actual value to your client. But if growth operating doesn't work, that doesn't mean that it's impossible for you to scale your own business. In fact, there's a business model that I'm going to introduce to you right now, which is way better than anything that could be achieved with growth operating. Literally, regular people are making doctor salaries with it, and I personally changed my entire life with it. And it's not SMA, it's not AI automation or affiliate marketing. The best thing about it is that you don't have to trade your time for money like growth operating. Instead, you bring actual value to people. You run your own business without relying on a client, and you're definitely not being a glorified Discord mod. I'm about to tell you everything that you need to know about this business model, why it actually works, and how you can get started. Now, warning here, I do want to preface this by stating that I do not think everyone should try this model because it is very demanding. It is going to be a lot of work, but if done properly, I still believe it has the most long-term growth potential. Now, I'm literally just here to tell you what my personal experience has been using this business model and how I've seen it change the lives of my close friends that I'm traveling with full time. Right now, we're in France. Next week, we're going to be in Spain. And the week after that, we're going to be in Portugal and then Asia. So it's pretty insane what this has done to our lives, and I'm here to just share it with you guys. This new business model is called branded dropshipping. From the name, you can probably tell that this is related to dropshipping, but there are a couple simple tweaks that make this model perform like dropshipping, but on steroids. Now, if this is the first time that you're hearing about dropshipping, you might be scratching your head trying to figure out what the hell I'm even talking about, but it is really not that complicated. Now, in dropshipping, you're basically acting as the middleman between the supplier and the customer. Now, you're going in and setting up an online store, and when a customer buys a product, you send their details to a third-party supplier who then sends the product for you. Now, by doing this, you can sell physical products without having to deal with the inventory in warehouses. All you really have to do is focus on finding a winning product, running some good ads, and driving people to your online store. Now, the dropshipping method is already very, very powerful. There are hundreds of business owners who run very successful stores and are making six figures, but we're gonna be going a lot deeper than that. Now, sure, dropshipping is really great, but with branded dropshipping, you can go from 6 figures to 7 figures with some crazy benefits that you never even thought of. But now, instead of just like throwing up some simple stores without doing much work, you're going to turn this into a real brand. And what I mean by this is that we're going to be transforming the approach here so that you have a logo on your product, you have custom packaging, and once you've obtained a solid proof of concept, you'll even have faster shipping times. Then you can have that brand aligned with straight up everything on your website and in your marketing as well. Think about all the big names out there that we hear every single day: Shein, Zara, blah, blah, blah. They all choose a very simple, a very general name, right? And they were still able to build something that, as we know of today, are some of the biggest, most recognizable brands in the world. And you can do the exact same. But what's in it for you? Well, the thing is, it's become easier than ever. It's been so easy nowadays to start selling products online. And with dropshipping, you don't even have to worry about making your own products. Now, all the tools and resources that you are going to need are already there at your fingertips. And if you're watching this video, you're already taking a step towards the right direction. But what you have to keep in mind, and probably the biggest caveat here is that you're not the only one who wants to use dropshipping as a platform to change their lives. Now, because of how easy it is to start your own store, that also means that there's a lot of trash floating around. Hundreds of people are making websites with the click of a button. Their whole websites are filled with AI generated marketing and products that are literally just handpicked from AliExpress trending pages. 98% of the people who are dropshipping toss garbage onto the internet, and to be honest, you can't even blame most of them. I was literally the same when I started. I thought that people would buy anything that I put onto my random website. But because of all that trash, more and more people are looking for very unique, high quality products. They're looking for brands that they can trust and buy from, not just random online stores. And that is where you come in. All you need to do is be that small 2% of people who actually care about their store, the guy who actually puts in the work to stand out and create a store that actually resonates with the people. Now, if you don't believe me, I was just like a lot of people that were dropshipping. I went ahead and created a generic store. I thought anyone would buy any product from me, but then I realized soon that I had to start providing value and really build something great. And that's when I transitioned to branded dropshipping, and I built my store from literally nothing. I documented the whole process, and I actually made a video about it on my channel. At first, I started out by selling phone cases and accessories. Now, sure, I made a few $100s doing that, but after a certain point, I started to get stuck. So one day I decided to go a little bit deeper, and I niched down into selling Hypebeast phone cases. Now, my store went from a very generic online store to having an actual personality and an actual vibe, and that was able to help me create a name and a brand for myself. I was the Hypebeast phone case store, and I wouldn't have gained my first 100K in profit without it. So if you want to get started in branded dropshipping, there are 3 steps you need to follow to get started. Step 1, choose a niche. Now, every dropshipping store needs a niche, and of course yours is going to be no different. And there's one thing that all good niches have in common. That's growth potential. It should be able to last for a long time and continuously get bigger and bigger through the years, instead of being a quick trend that passes after a few months. Now, we can compare this to growth operating. It has 0 chance to grow, but with branded dropshipping, you can guarantee a 7-figure future by choosing the right niche and going from there. Now, you can look at what you see on socials and then verify that it's a rising trend through Google Trends. So we're not actually looking for winning products right now, because we're not looking to just make a quick buck. Winning products usually mean that you're searching for a quick trend to cash in on, and that's actually not what we want to do. And while you can bring in tons of profit in the short run, once the product stops trending, you'll just have to start looking again for the next product that the internet is obsessed with, which, as most of you guys are starting to realize, is not fun. It really sucks. Now, your store is a long-term brand, and we need to treat it that way. So we don't want to just go onto Google Trends to start looking for products. Instead, what you should do is see what these other stores are doing. You should list down the best niches that you think have a lot of potential, and then check and see if they've been trending for the past year or so. Now, if there has been no drop in interest, then you have found yourself a golden niche that you need to jump on ASAP. But the thing is, picking a great niche won't separate us from the dropshipping stores. To really get into BDS, branded dropshipping, you have to start building a brand for yourselves. But unfortunately, picking a great niche won't separate us from the other dropshipping stores. To really get good at BDS, we have to start building a brand for ourselves. So to take our brand further, we're going to need a name, we're going to need a logo, and an overall aesthetic that's going to stick with our target audience. And I know I probably made that sound really easy. All you have to do is look for a good color palette, hop onto Canva, and quickly make a logo, and then you are set. But that's actually not really the case. A good brand is one that resonates with its audience. Now, sure, we could say a store that's targeted towards women might benefit from bright colors and a pastel pink palette, but does it actually resonate with them? So why don't we do this? I'll show you this brand right here, Saber Masters. This brand right here, as we can see, they're selling lightsabers. Now, hopefully we can all agree here, but because they're selling lightsabers, they know that their store is going to resonate with fans of what? Sci-fi media, right? Key thing as well, I'm pretty sure like most of the people that are into these lightsabers would probably be watching Star Wars, but they are not directly quoting Star Wars, so they can't actually get copywritten here. Now, sure, they could have just picked a color palette and a logo and went from there, but they went ahead and took it a lot further. Now, we can even see right here the copywriting that they're using. They're saying words like Jedi and Sith, which, obviously would resonate with people that are into Star Wars, but they're not directly quoting Star Wars, right? They're using these very bright LED images, and then the testimonials that they're using are of actual influencers right, of I guess sci-fi media or Star Wars fans, but really solid brand. So that is how you create a really good brand, and here's how you can do it too. Now I want you to take a few minutes and look at the biggest brands in your niche and maybe even some of your own favorite brands as well. Then I'm gonna want you to mix two styles. I'm gonna give you a really quick example here. All right, so here's a pretty good example here of what I'm talking about, how we're gonna cross-pollinate two different vibes and two different products to cross-pollinate, create our own mini niche subcategory here. So we have Wear Felicity here. So if you guys don't know what Wear Felicity is, this is basically like that jewelry that you wear, that you look through the looking glass and you have like a picture or you have some sort of design. Generally it's going to be a picture, so you'll see like a little hourglass here. So what if we cross-pollinate this product and this niche, people that are interested in this, with a very highly passionate niche, like for example Christian jewelry, right? So this would be a great example because you're working with two hyper passionate niches, and you know this does in fact work here. So people that are already into Christian jewelry that might be religious, we go ahead and cross-pollinate that with Wear Felicity. So maybe some designs of a cross alongside this Wear Felicity looking glass would be really good example here. Now the reason that we would want to do something like this is because you're sure that it's a vibe and aesthetic that people already like and that they already resonate with, but you're also putting your own little personal spin on it at the same time. Okay, so now you got a good name and you have a general idea of what your brand is going to be like. Now you got to start building your store. Now your entire store, it should match your branding, but remember, you need to keep things professional and you don't want to be shoving crazy elements and designs onto your page if they're going to take away from the overall experience of your customers. You got to keep everything very seamless, very easy to interact with. And because your store is basically the face of your brand, and this is obviously where your customers are going to be heading to. So make sure that you design it with that in mind. Try to make it as easy to navigate as possible, as user-friendly as possible, while also keeping your brand's own branding relevant. Now let's just say I wanted to use this example and build out this Wear Felicity with Christian jewelry type brand. I would look at these main competitors right here, the guys that are very relevant, the guys that are selling a lot, that look like they have a legitimate brand, and I would use them as somewhat of a basis, right? So I would take this one, I would take this one, and I would try and see what aspects of this store that I actually like and how I can take little bits and pieces of it and incorporate that into my own store. So I'm going to show you an example of the first brand that I used as a reference for the Hypebeast case store and how I use them, take little bits and pieces to build out my own store. Now I do want to let you guys know that this was a copyright store, so wasn't able to sell products after this because I realized like I don't want to be selling copyright products. I don't want to get in trouble, so I stopped doing that. But I used this store as a reference, and you know, as I said, I took little bits and pieces of what I thought was done properly, done well, and then I went ahead and put my own little rendition of this. As I guess told you guys, I was selling these Hypebeast phone cases. I was able to expand out the product line with different cases that resonated within the same community. I didn't really sell all these, but I stuck to the ones that pretty much fell in line with specifically Hypebeast shoe cases. Now, when I was first starting, it took me forever to build my online store. I was not good at it, and you know, I wasted a lot of time. So what I want all you guys to do right now is I want you to go to the description of this video, and I want you to hit the link, or you know, pretty much any one of my videos, any of the course videos, especially the one that's right here, and I want you to go to my store builder link, and you're going to be able to build out your own store for free. We're not going to charge you anything. Literally in 2 minutes, you're going to be able to choose what kind of templates that you want. You're going to be able to choose what kind of elements that you want. You're going to be able to design it, and AI is going to do it in less than 2 minutes. I wish I had something like this when I was starting. Obviously I didn't. Here we are. It's getting a lot easier and easier, but that still means that you need to differentiate. Now, I'm not saying that you should just take this theme as it is and literally just run it as it is. I think that it's great to use as a basis, and then once you know you have all the back end preset all set up, which is nice, you don't have to, you know, put all the shipping information, you don't have to do all that jargon, the privacy policies. It's all going to be done for you. So you use it as a basis, and then you can start to make little tweaks and adjustments, maybe import your own products, see what you like, and go from there and then start to build out the store. Now, the thing is, building out your store is useless if you don't have a good product. Of course, now I know I said that we didn't have to look for winning products. And yes, that is still true. But as a branded dropshipping store, you just want to spend more time perfecting your niche and then branding instead of only your products. But that doesn't mean that you should just start selling everything under the sun. What I like to do is I use the Facebook and the TikTok spy tool from AutoDS to try and find winning products within my specific niche. I'm gonna show you how I do that. So I'll go on to AutoDS, and then from there I'll go to the Ad Spy. They just released this Facebook Spy tool, which is super sick. So we have Facebook Spy, and then we also have TikTok Spy. Now with this, I can go in and filter by keyword. Now let's just say I'm selling products that resonate with pets, or I'm selling pet related products. So I'll go ahead and search pets. I can also, filter this by likes, more than 10,000 likes, if the product is in fact linked. There's a CTA shop now button, and then the interaction rate, right? So let's just do this, for example. And then from here, I can see anyone that's actively running an ad for my desired keyword. Now, this is just the example, of course, but we have some good references here. We can see, anyone that's running various ads for pets. And when people are running ads on the Facebook ad library, well, it's going to be on the back end of the Facebook ad library, but if they're running ads on Instagram or Facebook, we're going to be able to see that. Now, what does that generally mean if they're running ads? Well, for the most part, it's going to mean that they're spending money, which no one's really going to spend money for no reason, so they're probably making money as well. What you can do to an extra extent is right here, overlook this brand that you're seeing that's running a bunch of ads. You can go specifically to the Facebook ad library, type in their brand name, and see how long that they've been running these ads for to gauge whether or not it's been profitable for them. So if they've been running ads for a long time, well, that's probably going to mean that that ad is a winning ad, and that's a winning product if they're still running it. Then what you can do is, as you start to test, as you start to refine down to your winners, you can take those winning products and scale up from there with Facebook ads. You can basically keep this loop going by testing 2 to 3 new products a week, picking the best ones, and then continuing to build up. Now, getting ahead of the game is super important. So being a first mover, or having that first mover's advantage in the market by testing very quickly and effectively, is so necessary. Now, by doing that, you'll never run out of winning products to sell for your brand, but also you need to know when to cut losses and when to move on to the next if you're not getting any great feedback. So understanding your KPIs, key performance indicators, really important for ads. Some that I would recommend looking a little bit deeper into are your CPM, your CTR, your CPC, and then your return on ad spend, and then your cost per acquisition. But that's the only way you're going to see success, and that's exactly why branded dropshipping works way better than growth operating. While growth operators are out there slaving away for their clients, trying to make thousands out of zero skills, you're going to be building your own business, improving your knowledge, and finally earning the money that you deserve. And that's why I would pick branded dropshipping over the growth operating model 100 out of 100 times. And after making millions of dollars with dropshipping, I recorded a full guide to get you from zero to your first 100K. It's everything that I would do if I had to start all over again. You can watch it right here. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one. Peace.